Hello and welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano, and today Tim Cahill is here, president of the South Shore Chamber of Commerce, to join us for an update. First, though, we take a look at the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, it's beautiful, sunny, 58 degrees right now. We've got a gorgeous couple of days on tap here with mostly sunny skies today. Temperatures will top off in the low 60s this afternoon, and not too cold tonight under cloudy skies, low around 40 degrees. Even warmer tomorrow with unrestricted sunshine. Temperatures tomorrow in the upper 60s. Some places inland may hit 70 degrees. Going to lose a lot of our snowpack over the next couple of days. Turning cloudy on Wednesday with a chance for some afternoon showers. A little cooler in the mid-50s. And still unsettled here on Thursday. Some morning showers, some afternoon clouds. Temperatures in the low 50s. So enjoy the next couple of days. Again, sunny and 58 in Quincy right now. In the news today, it is official. The new Quincy Public Safety Complex is now open. Over this past weekend, the Quincy Police Department moved into the new building on C Street, right next to the old police station, and is now fully operational out of the new facility. Now, the department had been moving in stages over the past month or so, but was waiting for the new cell block to be state certified before fully moving into the new building. The Fire Department Administration and Emergency Management Department will also be moving into that new facility. The $175 million, 122,000 square foot complex features a state-of-the-art gun range, a full gym and locker room facilities, state-of-the-art communication center and classrooms, and also public meeting spaces. It replaces the 1925 police station that will eventually be torn down to make room for a park dedicated to first responders. A formal grand opening ceremony for the new building will be held later in the spring. Well, the issue of pay raises for Quincy City Councilors will be discussed during next Monday night's Quincy City Council Ordinance Committee meeting. Councilors' annual salaries increased from just over $29,000 to just over $44,000 at the beginning of this year, after being approved by the previous City Council last year. Many of the newly elected City Councilors, though, campaigned on the platform that the public was shut out of the process of those pay raises, so they're either donating the extra money to charities or holding it in trust. City Council President Ann Mahoney says that she too will not accept the additional pay.
Can we defer it? If we can't defer it, can we give it back? Can we? And really, it's not as simple as people think. If it was, it would be done. So everybody's dealing with it differently. I think some people have set up an escrow account and putting their full checks in there. I have yet to set up the escrow account, just to let people know, but I have not deposited any of the checks from the city of Quincy. I will be hopefully setting that up this week. I just haven't had time to go to the bank. You have to do that in person. And people. And what we're hoping too is it could be 6 months. It may not be a full year. We'll be collecting this. It might be 6 months when we have this all figured out. So be patient. We are working on it. And I think everybody has the best interest of the taxpayers, the city of Quincy, and making sure that we're, when people are getting raises, it's done in a way that's acceptable to everybody.
Councilors say state law requires them to take the pay raise. However, councilors are considering an ordinance that would repeal the raises and allow for public input before future salary increases are enacted. Quincy City Council is looking for an update on the theft of $3.5 million from the Quincy Retirement and Pension Fund that occurred 5 years ago. Last week, Ward 6 City Councilor Deborah Riley, the chair of the Finance Committee, issued a resolution asking for members of the Retirement Board to appear before the council with an update.
And whereas the Quincy Retirement Board has not appeared before or provided any update to the Quincy City Council, the citizens of Quincy, or the participants of the pension system. Therefore, let it be resolved that the Quincy Retirement Board appear before the City Council to discuss the loss of the $3.5 million in funds under its control, the delay in discovering the loss, what funds, if any, have been recovered or reimbursed, and communicate the specific policies, procedures, and safeguards that have been implemented since this incident.
Riley said a similar request for an update was made by the City Council 3 years ago, but there was never any report. The theft was discovered in October of 2021, where scammers infiltrated a dormant email account of the former retirement system director that had never been closed, then conned an investment manager into transferring the funds, which have never been recovered. And the scammers have not been caught. The building that was home to Sully's Bar in Quincy Center for over 80 years has been torn down. Crews last week demolished the Chestnut Street building to make way for a new 5-story, 100-unit apartment complex. Quincy Mutual Fire Insurance Company is developing what will be called MacArthur Landing. Now, the new development will include 9 townhomes, 91 apartments, and a parking garage. The new building will also have a brick facade. It is being developed to complement the adjacent new park that's dedicated to John Quincy Adams. Sully's closed back in 2018 after 84 years of ownership by the Sullivan family. Mayor Thomas Koch says that iconic neon Sully's sign will be preserved and put on public display in the future. Quincy getting a new Italian restaurant. Mangia Mangia Pizzeria will be opening up at the site of a former 7-Eleven on Adams Street in Lincoln Square. The 30-seat restaurant will also have a full liquor license and a bar with seating for 6 to 8 patrons. Board of License Commissioners approved the new restaurant unanimously recently, and City Clerk Nicole Crispo says provisions were put in place to ensure there's adequate parking.
The nail salon there, which does do a great deal of business, closes at 7 p.m. So parking really shouldn't be an issue. They did, however, secure some parking across the street as well, up to 20 spots. And I suggested that TL Real Estate Investment LLC schedule deliveries when the nail salon is closed.
The manager of the new restaurant will be Clifford Williams, and the restaurant will be open 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on weekdays and until midnight on weekends. The new restaurant will not have any live entertainment. Members of the Quincy Planning Department recently returned from the National Community Development Association's winter conference that was held in Washington, D.C. Over the course of the 3-day event, Sean Glennon, Community Development Director in Quincy, moderated some roundtable discussions on team building and working with care organizations. Glennon also attended a legislative meeting with staff from Congressman Stephen Lynch's office on Capitol Hill. And Quincy staff member Jane Berry moderated roundtable discussions on radon. Outreach coordinator Kate Tenney gave a presentation on social media and engagement policies. And Rhiannon Gorham, assistant planner, attended a conference on federal grants. Quincy receives about $2.5 million in annual entitlement grant funding from HUD, which pays for community center programs, senior transportation, housing production and rehabilitation, job training, and infrastructure projects. It's our check of news for you today. Coming up, South Shore Chamber of Commerce President Tim Cahill will be joining us for an update. That's next. Welcome back. We're happy to welcome back to the program Tim Cahill here, President of the South Shore Chamber of Commerce. We'll call this our early spring update, Tim. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, Joe.
You brought the nice weather with you.
As I said, I wanted to wait until the snow was cleared before I made the long ride from Rockland.
Yes.
To come here.
Smart man.
I'm excited. It's beautiful out.
Yeah.
It is really a beautiful day. It's maybe this is a sign, although it doesn't look all that pretty.
It's not quite Chamber of Commerce weather just yet. But
hopefully we'll have an early spring. We deserve it.
We can only hope.
It.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
deserve it.
We have earned it for sure.
Yeah.
How's things going?
Good. The snow has not slowed us down. We've
Really?
been busy winter so far. Busy, like I just said to you, I've been there 15 months now, I think it's been, since I left Quincy. And, it's been exciting. First year was a learning year for me.
Right.
Learned a lot. We had some great accomplishments. This year, Timing is everything in life. This year we celebrate our 125th anniversary.
Wow.
So this chamber was started in Quincy back in 1901 by, I believe, a Faxon and an Adams, believe
No
it or
kidding.
not.
Wow.
The Quincy Board of Trade, which is what created what is now the South Shore Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
And then it spread as population and business spread to the south. So it's pretty exciting. I'm fortunate to be at the helm.
Be at the helm during that historic
During that
time.
period. We're
Yeah.
also moving this year
What?
to a new headquarters.
You are?
We'll be moving to Hingham. Just actually one exit closer. Trying to get closer to Quincy. No, don't tell anyone I said that. We are moving to South Shore Park, which is an old industrial park that is now turned into more of a mixed office use park.
Okay.
It's right off of the Derby Street exit.
Oh, okay.
Opposite Derby Street.
Yes,
So instead
sure.
of going right off of Derby, you go left.
Gotcha.
And we're right next to these brand new South Shore Hospital Orthopedic.
I was going to say there's a big medical facility there.
Yes,
Okay.
so we are right next door to
Okay.
that. So we'll be moving in July.
Really?
So we're excited about that. We've been, as you know, this chamber used to be in Quincy at Millstar Road. Still have the sign.
The old mansion.
Signage from the front. I'll
Sure.
keep that and maybe bring it to our new space.
Oh, neat, yeah.
And we moved to Rockland in, I believe it was 2012 or 13. So it's been about 15 years
Okay.
in Rockland. And our new address will be 4 Pond Park
Okay.
in Hingham. So
Okay.
we're excited about that.
Why? Why are you moving?
Well, our lease is up.
Oh,
We have more space than we really need in Rockland, and this opportunity came up for us, the right space, the right price, a very, very good location. Both locations are great, but as I tell everyone now when they say, where are you? We say we're at the Rockland exit at where Home Depot is,
Yeah,
and
sure.
everyone kind of knows
it's
where
a
that
great
is.
landmark, yeah.
And now we're at the Hingham exit where Derby Street is.
Also
So
a great landmark. Okay.
great landmark.
Okay.
So
you're staying in Plymouth County at
we're
least.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. And easier for my staff to grab lunch if they want to go over or do some shopping, and
yes.
not be gone for too long.
Right.
So it's a great spot. It's a great
Okay.
spot. Dave Ellis, who was a real estate agent and developer on the South Shore, bought the building, renovated. He's moving his offices in there, and we will be right on the ground floor.
All right, okay.
It's a very, very nice professional building, and it's got everything we need. So, so excited. Excited.
right. Well, then-
I should probably come back after we move because
Yes.
you won't want to see me before because it'll be a little hectic.
Moving's a little hectic.
Yeah, moving will
anywhere,
be hectic, but
yeah.
we're trying to work it out. We're trying to work it out. It'll be a whole brand new spot for us.
Yeah.
New everything. We're not bringing anything from the old
Oh, is that
spot.
right? Starting
Maybe a
fresh?
couple of signs.
Okay.
A couple of signs, maybe some photos.
Okay.
There's a couple of good history wall hangings that I might want to keep.
I would
And,
think after 125
so,
years, there's going to be a
But it'd
few
be kind of a new
historic
start for
artifacts.
us too.
Yeah.
It's a new start, so we're looking forward. So
Any new
we're excited.
staff openings with the new location?
We've had some staff turnover,
Okay.
so we have one position open now. Will be open at the end of this week. We've had some turnover. Some people have left for other stuff. We had one employee leave to go to road responsibility. One that will be coming to the South Shore YMCA down
Oh,
in
okay.
Quincy. So she's shifting from Rockland to Quincy.
Yep.
So there's been some change, which is good.
Yeah.
Exciting about it. I'm excited about it, and we're in a good place. So it's 125th anniversary. We've started a foundation as part of the chamber. Many chambers have them. We had one and we let it go dormant, and we rescued it or set it up again. So it allows us to raise money from different sources, from foundations, from government, and it's targeted towards economic development. So
Okay.
what we're trying to do is grow our economic development portfolio, what we can do, how we can help spur growth on the South Shore for the business community.
Okay. So
Save
businesses
some
can apply
businesses.
for
That's
like
what
an
we'll-
incubator business, perhaps? Could apply?
no, we will be, yes, once we get some money set up,
Yeah.
and we're looking to raise a significant amount of money. So yes, people will be able to apply,
Okay.
or will seek out
I see.
opportunities. We may fund studies for the South Shore,
Yeah.
development plans. We want to see some of the development that's taking place here in Quincy and what's taking place in Braintree and Weymouth sort of spread down to the South Shore, where it's wanted, where it's needed, because every government in the region is struggling. Because there isn't enough growth, taxes are going up, 2.5 overrides. The spring is coming, which is not a good sign for many of these governments.
Right.
So we're trying to get that message out. how you can have quality development, what you want for your community, whether it's housing, whether it's economic. We get
I
a
was
lot
just
of
going to ask
off-
what type of development.
Well,
you
there'd be
think is
housing
needed.
in some
Okay.
cases because it's needed on the South Shore like it is everywhere, especially housing that's market rate, because as you know, the property market on the South Shore is pretty
Very hot, yeah.
It's very hot,
Yeah.
very expensive. So it's a hard place for young people to settle and raise a family, although it's a great place for young people to settle and
Yeah.
raise a family. So we're working on the economic development, so the jobs are there and the housing is there. And we've got a lot of really interesting office parks, like the one we're moving in.
That's an old one, though. That's
It's
been
an
around
old
a
one.
while,
It
yeah.
was more of an industrial site.
Yes, yeah.
It's transitioning, as
Yes.
so much is, into more office use.
Okay.
And there's quite a few of them all around the South Shore. You know, where we are now in Rockland is
Yeah.
sort of an office park.
Yeah, there's
Um,
Accord
there's-
Park down in Norwell as well.
Yeah,
I can think of.
Assinippie.
there's another one,
There's
yeah.
plenty in Plymouth. I mean,
Portage
there's a
Park in
lot of
Plymouth, yeah.
land available.
Yeah.
It's just, again, it's trying to figure out what is the right mix for the community.
Yeah.
So we're starting to address those needs in the first half of this year. We have 2 events coming up, one in May, which is our South Shore Economic Development Summit,
Oh,
which we work with the New England Real Estate Journal on. And last year it was on medical office buildings. This year it's going to be on the issue of rent control.
oh, interesting.
So we're having
Okay.
an event. It's going to be here at Granite Links. I think it's May 12th.
Okay.
And we're inviting some folks in from the industry, housing and other industries, banking that finances housing,
Yep.
to talk about how impactful rent control would be in a negative way if it's voted in statewide. It's a statewide referendum
Yes,
question. It's
right.
qualified on the ballot. It's a hot issue. I don't think people really understand the impacts, the negative impacts of statewide rent control.
Yep.
What it will do to the job market, what it will do to the housing market, how it will probably end up driving prices up or discouraging new housing from being built. So we're going to talk about that and try to talk about it in a reasonable manner so it's understood by the people who are looking for housing that this is not the solution. And the second event we're scheduling in June, which will be at Leo's new
Oh, in Braintree, the new Alba.
function space,
Yeah.
Leo's event space in Braintree.
Yeah.
We're inviting the 3 mayors of the South Shore, Quincy Mayor Tom Koch, Braintree Mayor Aaron Joyce, and the new Weymouth Mayor Mike Melise.
Yes.
So, and to talk again about how they have addressed housing and development issues, workforce issues in their communities.
Okay.
Obviously, we know the story of Quincy. Braintree's embarking on a couple of very large
Pretty
projects.
large projects, yeah. The old Armstrong
Yeah,
complex is
that's
gonna be
it's a big
developed.
one.
Yeah.
It's a big one. We're dealing with the Communities Act, and believe it or not, Union Point will break ground this year.
Oh, okay.
Union Point development, the old South Weymouth Naval Air Station.
Yeah.
So
How many years has that been, Tim?
it's been 20
I
years.
was just going to say, yeah.
New England Development has taken it over. We've met with them. It's a real plan with real timelines and real buildings.
Okay.
Quite a bit of housing, but also a lot of commercial space.
Oh, interesting.
Supermarkets and
Really?
Retail space.
Okay.
It's going to be very, very, very interesting, and we got a chance to see it all mapped out and where the housing's going to go. And it'll be a mix of some single-family,
Mm-hmm.
townhouse, multifamily, probably about over 3,000 units of housing.
Wow.
So it's a great way for us to address that region, sort of
Yes.
that mid-region between Quincy, take some pressure off Quincy too
Yes.
for housing, and allow people to create opportunities where they can at least start their lives, or if they're retiring, maybe sell their home, and it'll open up some housing, we hope, for on the South Shore for people who are looking to enter the market, because then there'll be a community. A little bit, not quite the same, but similar to Pine Hills in that sense, where it's not over 55, but it's downsizing housing for people who are empty nesters.
Yeah,
you
without
know.
the golf course, right?
Unfortunately, without the golf course.
Okay.
But we got some great golf courses on the side with Black Rock, and you could go to Pine Hills from there.
Yes, yes.
So those 3 mayors are dealing with those issues,
Yeah.
how to sort of balance it. And that's what we're looking for, is the balance. I mean, there are some communities that don't want any housing. They don't want to. We've had a few that have fought the Communities Act.
Yes.
It's their decision. But you need some growth to offset the services that are needed. And if you want to attract, we've got a great school system all throughout the South Shore. All the schools are great. All the communities have great schools. And it's one of the draws to get people to come. But if you don't have housing, They can't, affordable housing,
Yes.
reasonably affordable housing. People can't get there.
So does that need to come first before commercial development, do you think?
It probably will be concurrently. What they explained to us is the housing plan will develop over the next 5 to 7 years, and it will be done in phases. The commercial property takes a shorter period of time, so once some of the housing gets started, the commercial property will start to be built. So it's going to be a mix of, like I said, Pine Hills and Legacy Place, or one of those sort of, or even like Derby Street, where you have this lifestyle kind of living. And they're actually going to create a town square, which they committed to. It was on the plans originally, and it was never done. So a little town square for folks who live there.
Okay.
And there are people that live there now.
Yes,
so,
there are, yeah.
It's exciting. It's exciting for us, and it's nice to be in the middle of it.
Yeah.
I have some experience, I think, in terms of how it's been done and where it needs to be done. And again, same model, which is near public
I
transportation.
was just going to ask about the transportation.
There is a train
aspect,
station right
this
there
commuter
at
rail, so
Union
certainly,
Point.
Yeah.
So it would be fun, and it will put that money on the tax rolls for
Yeah.
the town of Weymouth. And then it will, be some congregating housing. And there's a lot of road work and infrastructure work that's going to be done concurrently, because people need to be able to get to and from there.
Access is key, right? Yeah.
Access through Rockland.
Yes.
One side of Bill Delahunt Highway,
Yes.
believe it or not. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
and access on Route 18.
Okay.
So it's a great time to be where I am on the South Shore. I'm really excited about it. It's a great community, and we've been working all the way from Quincy all the way down to Plymouth, and meeting people and getting businesses to join. I'm very lucky.
How many members now in the South Shore Chamber?
We have
Just roughly even.
about, with our affiliates,
Yeah.
and we've added some new affiliates since I've been there, probably about 1,300
Okay.
members.
All
So
right.
we're the 5th largest chamber in the state. My goal is to become the largest.
Really?
So
Okay.
we'll see how that goes. You can have me back in a few years, and
All
we'll
right.
see how that goes.
Okay.
We can track it. But we're growing. It's we've grown just in these first 2 months in what has been a tough winter. I think we've added 25, 30 new members already in the first 2 months. So.
Okay.
Which is our target each month.
Is that right?
Yeah, so
Interesting.
it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Great team, great people too. I met some really, really good people, business leaders, professional leaders down in the South Shore. I've been able to work with multiple mayors, which is nice, and town planners. And there's some exciting things happening in Rockland and Hingham, and they're working together on a parcel of land which overlaps both.
Okay.
The challenges obviously has been water and infrastructure.
I was going to, you're reading my mind here today, Tim, because as you know, the House Speaker talked a lot about kind of pushing the MWRA water system further south.
And that's what I wanted to speak about. So
Yeah.
he spoke at a breakfast that we had in February. It was
okay.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Ron was, Speaker Mariano was great to come. Gave us some insight, and that has been the stumbling block for the last 20 years.
Right.
Getting the towns together, you have Weymouth, Abington, and Rockland all owning pieces
Little
of
pieces
that.
of the base.
So
The
getting
old
all
base,
that together, but it's really been the water.
Yeah.
And the plan is to have Weymouth hooked up to the MWRA sometime in about 2030, 2031.
Okay.
But the water, there's enough water for them to start the project and complete the
Okay.
project. And knock wood or table here.
Yeah.
Not glass. It looks like once they go down that path, they'll be able to extend that water line further south.
Yes.
At less of a cost.
Okay.
So state's been great. They've been great. Mass Development has pitched in a significant amount of money, and the speaker's been great about making sure that he has not taken his eye off the ball. And we want him to be there to fruition, to the groundbreaking.
Sure.
And it would be great for the South Shore, because that really has been, water and sewerage has been the real stumbling block.
You can't have any development without that, right?
And
Yeah.
some developers are forced to build their own water treatment plants on site.
Very expensive, I'm
you
sure.
need water, you need sewerage, and you need energy. And
Right.
we're working on the energy piece, the electricity costs, and making sure that we have energy to grow too. Because what the South Shore has, and I think it's the jewel, makes for it to be the jewel, is we have 3 hospitals. Milton and future Quincy Hospital.
Coming soon, yeah.
BID Milton, South Shore Hospital in Weymouth, and BID Plymouth,
Plymouth, right.
which is expanding. So one of our initiatives, which you'll be seeing rolling out this spring, is to ceremoniously rename Route 18 as Medical Way,
Interesting.
W-E-Y, Way,
Very good.
to really highlight the healthcare, growth and the number of services. We've got not only South Shore Health there, but Boston Children's Hospital, Mass General Hospital, partners all providing services on that corridor of Route 18 and Libby Park. So it really is, it's the largest employer of the region, healthcare, and it is poised to growth, and it's what attracts people, I think, to the region beyond housing and good schools is access to healthcare, because we all need it.
Happy 125th, Tim.
Thank you very much.
We will have you back for sure.
I will. We will, and we'll have a few. It's not going to be Quincy 400.
Okay.
Don't have any parades scheduled. We don't. I don't have the man's energy to do that. The fireworks, but we're excited, and the chamber started in Quincy, so there is a connection. And this is our 250th, so we're half as old as our country, which is pretty exciting, and it says a lot about the community.
Absolutely. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Forecast for the rest of the day today looks just like you see now. Lots of sunshine and mild temperatures, low 60s this afternoon, even warmer tomorrow with fewer clouds, maybe 70 in some places. Yes, and we turn more March-like for the middle of the week with cloudy, cooler conditions with some rain and maybe even a little bit of snow on Thursday night, believe it or not. Thanks again to Tim Cahill for joining us.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it.
You are welcome. Thanks to our crew. Thank you for watching Friday here on the program. Your colleague here in Quincy will be joining us, Tim. Helen Shiner from the Quincy Chamber of Commerce is stopping by. Meantime, check our website, qatv.org. All of our latest programs are there. There's news and information, video on demand, live streaming, and more. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great week.